I found an interesting message in my inbox today. A self-described troll here on YouTube, who I recently devoted an entire video to responding to, who I won't name, sent me a private message apologizing for what he called him trolling my videos. And he's apologized for all the trouble he caused, and said in his own words that he wouldn't have done it except for he realized that I did not hate Sony and Microsoft. He was in his I believe the intent of his message was that he was trolling my videos in retaliation for what he thought was me being anti-Microsoft and anti-Sony. And well, one, I appreciate the apology. It's not that big a deal either way. And second, I'm glad you came to realize that I do not hate Sony and I don't hate Microsoft. I owned PlayStation 1 and 2, and I was there day one for the PSP launch. And I said lots of good things about the PSP when it was fashionable really to sort of totally discount the PSP. I I own the Xbox and the Xbox 360, and I like to talk about Nintendo the most because they're the most interesting to me, and I just enjoy making videos about them in particular. The most perceivably anti-Sony or anti-PlayStation thing I ever did was when me and an Operation Blue Wave and Street Pass NYC sort of arranged a direct response in retaliation to Jack Tretton, who said he made personal attacks against Nintendo gamers in like a really personal way. So he responded directly against that. But even in those videos where I explained and set up that operation, I said this is not anti-PlayStation, this is not anti-Sony, this is specifically against the remarks Jack Tretton made, which are remarks that really sort of belong in the realm of internet fanboy land and not coming from someone who's supposed to be representing the goodwill of the PlayStation brand, which I take personally because I have lots of fond memories on PlayStation and PlayStation 2 and PSP. And there are a few games on PS3 I want that it's not worth me buying the system for, but there are games I'm certainly, I'm attracted to, such as Flower. So really, it just sort of makes you wonder, like, why? I don't know. Really, I think all this fanboyism at the end of the day, I think people are just, and I say fanboyism in the sense not just being loyal to a company or liking one company over another, but when you become like a real zealot and partisan and go out of your way to attack and insult people who like other systems or post hate messages directed at people who like different systems. When it gets into that, I think people who do that, they're really just scared. Because I think the real reason people get that upset and angry and hateful is because if a system other than their own does well to the point where it's to the detriment of their own system, then the fear is that that the games on the system they like, and a system really represents a certain play style and a philosophy about how games are made and played. So if they're afraid that the vision of how games can be played and what they can be like is threatened by the success of another system, they're just going to get angry and hateful over it. And it doesn't take all that. I've said enough. I apologize to you, unnamed internet troll, and thanks for watching. Oh, and as a side note, I get lots of good video responses to my videos. I generally don't approve them, only because I get so many of them, and some are just like people just plugging their own videos, but some are genuinely good responses. But I get so many of those at this point that if I approved one, I really just sort of opens the floodgates to a lot of people really begging me to approve them. And unfortunately, I'd just rather not deal with that. I used to do it. I tried try to sort of play fair and not really approve any videos for the most part, unfortunately. So, and also, if you have weird pictures on your computer if you have weird novelty art on your computer, I don't want to hear about it. Thank you for your I'm not going to name names, but yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.